I want you to go to a specific place in your mind for a second. It's a place that I think almost every single person listening to this has been to, probably more often than they care to admit.
Oh, yeah.
Close your eyes. Imagine it's the morning of the first day of the month. You walk into your office, maybe you have that fresh cup of coffee, you're feeling decent.
You're optimistic, right?
Just-
New month, new me.
Exactly. You sit down, crack open the laptop, and you pull up your calendar or your CRM, and you look at the schedule for the next 4 weeks.
And it's just staring back at you.
The void, the absolute blank slate,
Mm.
0. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter that yesterday, the 31st, you closed the books on a record-breaking month.
Doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter that you just worked 60 hours a week for 4 weeks straight and brought in more revenue than you ever had before. The calendar has reset, the score is back to 0, the phone is silent. And you get that feeling in your gut.
It's that specific stomach drop sensation. It's almost physical, isn't it? It's that realization that gravity just turned back on.
Gravity is back on, and you are starting from the bottom of the mountain again. That pit in your stomach is whispering, oh no, I have to do it all over again.
All over again, from scratch.
And for so many service business owners, whether you run a marketing agency, a plumbing company, an IT consultancy, this is the hidden nightmare. You didn't start your business to be a salesperson, did you?
That is the tragedy at the heart of this. Nobody wakes up and says, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to start a graphic design firm because I just love cold calling.
Right.
No, they start because they love design. They start because they are a brilliant mechanic or a financial whiz. They want to be the expert. They want to do the thing.
The actual work.
The work. But then they wake up 3 or 4 years later and they realize they have accidentally built a hamster wheel.
A hamster wheel where if they stop running, the business stops eating.
That's it. And the stats from the source material we're diving into today are staggering. It suggests that the average service business owner spends 60% of their time chasing new deals just to survive.
60%.
60. That means the majority of your professional life isn't spent doing the work you're an expert in. It's spent trying to convince strangers to let you do that work.
That is an identity crisis waiting to happen. You see yourself as a trusted advisor, but your calendar says you're a desperate salesperson.
And that tension, that's the friction that burns people out. It's why they fall out of love with the business they started.
And that tension is exactly what we're unpacking today. We're looking at a framework called From Hunter to Harvester, which is based on the insights of Ryan Hurst.
And this isn't just about, getting more referrals or some soft skills seminar. This is a structural, mathematical argument about why the way most people run their businesses is fundamentally broken.
Broken is the right word. We're going to explore the critical shift from being a hunter, someone who wakes up every day and chases new work to survive, to a harvester, someone who cultivates relationships so that revenue becomes predictable.
The visual is so powerful. The hunter wakes up hungry every single day. If they don't go out and kill something, they don't eat. It's pure survival mode.
High stress. Very high stress.
The harvester, they don't start at 0. They wake up and look at a field they've already planted. They're harvesting the crop they cultivated months or even years ago. It's a completely different energy.
Okay, so we have a lot to get through, and some of it is going to be a little uncomfortable, I think. We're going to talk about the hole in the bucket theory. We're going to look at something called the golden ratio of customer value, which sounds a little intimidating, but it's actually really simple. And we are going to talk about a concept that I think will challenge a lot of listeners.
This is my favorite part.
The idea that truly caring for your customers means you need to stop accommodating them and actually start challenging them.
It's so counterintuitive, but it is the absolute key to the whole harvester model. If you're just being nice, you are probably failing your clients. Massively.
So let's dig into the broken model. Why is this hunter mindset so pervasive? Because on the surface, hustle culture tells us this is what we're supposed to do. You grind, you chase, you hunt.
It's glorified, absolutely. Rise and grind, all those motivational posters. But look at the math. The source material uses this metaphor of the hole in the bucket, and it is painfully accurate.
Paint that picture for us.
Okay, imagine you're running back and forth from a well to a bucket. You're sweating, you're sprinting, you're working harder than anyone else. You are pouring water, which represents new customers, into this bucket. But the water level never rises.
Because there's a massive hole in the bottom.
A gaping hole, and that hole is your lack of retention. You are pouring customers in the top, and they are leaking out the bottom just as fast, maybe even faster.
And the hunter's first instinct is,
I just need to run faster. The hunter thinks the solution is to get a bigger pail, to sprint from the well. I just need more leads. I need to pour faster.
Instead of just stopping for a second.
Yes. The harvester stops running, puts down the pail, walks over, and fixes the bucket. It's about efficiency, not just effort.
The financial reality of running with a hole in your bucket is just brutal. The source material highlights that it costs 5 times more to acquire a new customer than to keep an existing one.
5 times. Just sit with that for a second. 500% more expensive.
Think about what that means for your margins. Every time you let a client drift away because you're too busy chasing a new, shiny lead, you are making a conscious financial decision to choose the most expensive path possible.
You're literally lighting money on fire. You're paying a premium to make your life harder. It's madness when you lay it out like that.
But it's not just the money, is it? It's the energy.
It is the exhaustion. Most service businesses spend 90% of their energy, their budget, their mental focus on acquisition. They are obsessed with the top of the funnel.
Right. Lead gen, marketing, sales calls.
All of it. Meanwhile, the people who already know them, who already like them, who already trust them, they are just drifting away into the ether because nobody's paying attention to them.
They're forgotten. And we've all been that customer. You sign up for a service, you get the red carpet treatment for the first week, and then nothing.
Crickets.
Total silence.
Yeah.
Until the bill comes.
It feels terrible. It feels
Yeah.
transactional. And here's where we need to look at the context of right now. We're in 2025. The landscape has changed dramatically. The source material pointed out a signal in the market that honestly stopped me in my tracks.
The search trend stat.
Yes. In the last 3 months alone, internet searches for phrases like how to create loyal customers and customer retention strategies have spiked by 900%.
900%. That isn't a little blip. That's not a trend. That is a vertical line on a graph.
That is a tidal wave. It's a seismic shift. It tells us that business owners everywhere are waking up in a panic. The old tricks aren't working anymore.
So you have to ask yourself,
Right.
Why now? Why is this happening in 2025?
I think it's a perfect storm of a few things.
I have a theory on this, and it ties back to technology. It's the noise.
It is absolutely the noise. Think about the tools we have at our disposal now. AI, automation, cheap content generation. The cost of creating marketing noise has dropped to effectively zero.
Anybody can do it.
Any business, even a one-person shop, can spin up 1,000 blog posts, 10,000 AI-written emails, and a bot to make cold calls in a single afternoon.
So the world is just louder than it has ever been?
It is deafening. And at the same time, consumers are smarter than they have ever been. They have a built-in filter now. They can smell the AI. They can spot a generic automated sales pitch from a mile away.
The old hunter tactic of just shouting louder, getting a bigger megaphone, it just doesn't work when everyone has a megaphone.
You can't just turn up the volume anymore. The frequency is jammed. So the implication here is that you can't outshout the competition anymore. You can't just hustle your way to attention.
So what's the alternative?
You have to outtrust them. The market is shifting from a transactional economy to a trust economy. The winners of the next decade aren't going to be the ones with the best Facebook ad algorithms or the slickest funnels. They will be the best harvesters.
The ones who earn the right to be remembered.
That's it, the right to be remembered. That's the whole game. It's the goal. When a customer has a problem, they shouldn't be Googling for a solution. If they are Googling, you have already lost.
You've failed.
You failed. They should be calling you immediately because you are the only option in their mental orbit. You are the default.
That is the only call status.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established the problem. The hunter model is dying, the bucket is leaking, and the market is craving connection. How do we actually make the shift?
This is where it gets really practical.
The source material breaks this down into 3 non-negotiable requirements. And I love that phrasing, non-negotiable. You can't pick and choose.
It's a tripod. You kick out one leg, the whole thing falls over. You can't just say, oh, I'll do the systems part, but I'll ignore the math. It doesn't work that way.
Well, let's start with the one that usually makes creatives and service pros break out in hives. Requirement number 1, know your numbers cold.
This is where the rubber meets the road. A harvester loves the data because the data reveals the truth about the relationship.
Not just a vague feeling.
No feelings, just facts. And we aren't talking about just checking your bank balance at the end of the month. That's a lagging indicator. That tells you what happened in the past. We need leading indicators.
Okay, so what are the specific numbers the source says we need to be tracking? The vital signs.
There are 3 layers here. First, and this is the simplest one, your repeat purchase rate. It's a simple question. What percentage of your customers buy a second time?
Do you know that number right now off the top of your head?
If you're listening, can you say that number out loud?
I would bet a lot of money that most people listening are either guessing or the number they think it is way off. They probably think it's higher than it is.
Oh, way higher. We all like to think, oh, everyone loves me, they all come back. The data usually tells a different, much more sobering story.
Okay, so repeat purchase rate. What's second?
Second is purchase frequency. Of the ones who do stick around, how many times a year does the average client transact with you? Is it once a year? 4 times a year?
So it's about the rhythm of the relationship.
Exactly. But the big one, the one that the source material calls the heartbeat of the harvester model, is the golden ratio.
The golden ratio. This is the CLV to CAC comparison.
Exactly. Customer lifetime value, which is CLV, compared to customer acquisition cost, which is CAC.
Let's break that down for the listener who hasn't looked at these acronyms since business school. Or maybe never. Because this sounds like MBA jargon, but it's actually just basic survival math.
It's dead simple. It's arithmetic. Customer lifetime value, CLV, is just how much does a customer spend with you total from the first day they meet you until the day they leave you forever. All of it.
The total pie.
The whole pie. Now, look at the other side. Customer acquisition cost, CAC had CAC. How much money and effort did you spend to get them to sign that first contract?
And this isn't just ad spend, right?
No, this is everything. We're talking marketing ads, sales commissions, the value of your own time spent in networking meetings, the cost of the coffee you bought them. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about this number.
Okay, so you have these two numbers, lifetime value and the cost to get them in the door. And the rule is?
The rule is 3 to 1. The lifetime value must be at least 3 times the acquisition cost. So if you spend $100 to get a customer, they need to spend at least $300 with you over their life for the business model to be healthy.
What happens if you're sitting at, say, 1.5 to 1 or 2 to 1?
Then you are slowly going out of business, even if you look busy. You are essentially paying for the privilege of working. You're churning and burning cash.
You're riding on a treadmill.
A very expensive treadmill. The cash flow might look okay today because new money is coming in from new customers, but you have no margin for error. One bad month, one big client leaves, and you are immediately underwater.
And if you're above 3, let's say you're at 5 to 1 or 8 to 1,
then you have a machine. You have momentum. You have a scalable, profitable business. This is the shift hunters look at their business and see chaos. Oh, we had a good month, we had a bad month, it's all luck.
Right? It was a good quarter. Who knows why?
Harvesters look at these ratios and see patterns. They know if that CLV.CAC ratio slips from 4.0 to 3.5, they have a problem before the bank account runs dry. They can fix it before it becomes a crisis.
So step 1 is deep data awareness. Stop guessing. Start knowing. That brings us to requirement number 2. Systematic touch points.
The key word there is systematic, not random, not accidental.
This is where I think people fool themselves. They think, oh, I'm good at relationships. I'm a people person. I send Christmas cards. I comment on their LinkedIn posts when I see them.
That is winging it. That is reactive. That is relationship by chance. Oh, I haven't spoken to Bob in a while. Let me shoot him a text.
That's not a system.
A harvester systemizes serendipity. They don't wake up and wonder who to call. The system tells them who to call. There's a process for it.
The source material talks about moving from waiting for them to remember you to ensuring they can't forget you. What does that look like in practice? Because we don't want to be scammers. We don't want to be that annoying person in the inbox every single day.
Definitely not. That's a huge misconception. This isn't about volume, it's about value. It looks like a simple 90-day calendar trigger. Every 90 days, a client gets a touch point, a proactive reach out.
Okay.
But, and this is the crucial part that most people miss, it cannot be a sales call.
Right. It can't be, hey, just checking in. Are you ready to buy more stuff from me yet?
If every time you call, you ask for money, you are a pest. You are a telemarketer. People will start to dread your calls. A harvester calls to provide value with no expectation of an immediate return.
So what does that sound like? Give me a script.
It sounds like this. Hey, Sarah, I saw this article about the new AI regulations in your industry, and it made me think of you. Just wanted to send it your way. Or, if you're a home services pro, hey, John, winter is coming. Here's a quick 2-minute video on a tip to keep your pipes from freezing.
No sales pitch at all.
Zero. Or simply, hey, I was just thinking about the project we did last year and was wondering how that new system is holding up for you guys. You are acting as an advisor, not a vendor.
You're cultivating the relationship. You are staying in their mental orbit so that when the need arises, you are already there. You never left.
You aren't trying to get back on their radar. You never fell off it in the first place. You own that mental real estate.
Okay, so we have data and we have systems. But the source says requirement number 3 is the hardest one. It's the identity shift.
This is the psychological barrier. This is the internal work. You can buy the best CRM software on the planet. You can have the fanciest spreadsheets. But if you don't fix your head, you will fail.
This is the shift from seeing yourself as a salesperson trying to convince to a trusted advisor attracting.
That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
I feel like this goes back to that desperation we talked about in the intro, the smell of desperation.
Hunters stink of desperation, and clients can sense it. It's like a pheromone. It repels them.
How does that show up in their behavior?
Hunters discount their prices to close the deal because they need cash flow now. They apologize for following up. They feel like a nuisance. They use weak language.
Sorry to bug you, just circling back. We've all written that email.
It's so weak. It frames you as a subordinate, as a beggar. It screams, I need this more than you do. A harvester holds their value. They are confident. They have posture.
Because they're not reliant on this one deal.
They know that what they offer changes lives or businesses. So when they follow up, they aren't bothering you. They are maintaining a partnership that matters. They are doing you a service by checking in.
That is a massive reframe. It changes the energy of the entire conversation. It's not, I need something from you. It's, we are building something together and I am making sure it's still standing.
And paradoxically, that confidence is what attracts people. People want to work with experts who value themselves. They don't want to work with beggars. When you stop chasing, people start following.
So if you can nail those 3 numbers, systems, identity, you are then ready to start moving people up, what the source calls the loyalty ladder.
Yes, the habituation system.
I found this part of the source material really practical. It breaks down the customer journey into 3 distinct stages, specifically focusing on this habituation system.
It's based on fundamental behavioral psychology. We are creatures of habit. Think about your own life. Buying something from a new person or a new company is hard. There's friction.
There's risk.
A ton of risk. You don't know if they are going to scam you. You don't know if the quality is good. It's a leap of faith. Buying the second time is a little easier. You survived the first one. But the third time, that's the threshold.
3 is the magic number.
Once a customer buys 3 times, the neural pathway is formed. You become the default setting. They stop looking at competitors. They stop comparing prices. It's just easier to call you.
It's a habit.
It's a habit. So the harvester's entire game plan, the whole system, is designed to methodically move people from purchase 1 to purchase 3.
Let's look at the stages. Stage 1 is the sampler. This is someone who has bought just once.
They are vulnerable. They are in a very fragile state. They took a chance on you, but they haven't decided if you are the one. They are still looking for reasons to leave, for reasons to validate or regret their decision.
And this is where most businesses drop the ball completely. They ring the sales bell, high five in the office, send the invoice, and immediately go find the next one.
That is the hunter trap. Got the sale, moving on. The hunt is the only thing that matters. But the sampler is sitting there thinking, okay, was that a fluke? Do they actually care about me now that they have my money?
The dreaded buyer's remorse starts to creep in.
Immediately. So your goal with the sampler is to eliminate buyer's remorse and make the second purchase the obvious, logical next step.
So how do we bridge that gap between purchase 1 and 2?
You need immediate post-purchase reinforcement. And I don't mean a generic receipt from your accounting software. I mean a welcome to the family sequence, a personal video message, a handwritten card, something that says, we see you.
And you have to check in on the outcome, right? Not the transaction.
Crucial distinction. You don't call to ask, did your credit card clear? You call to ask, did our service actually solve the problem you hired us to solve? You have to validate their decision to hire you. You have to make them feel smart for choosing you.
Okay, so you've done that well. You've made them feel smart. Now they move to stage 2, the activated customer. They bought twice.
They came back. This is a huge signal. They liked it enough to return.
But they're still not totally sold.
Not yet. They came back, but they are testing your consistency. The internal monologue is, the first time was good, the second time was good. Is this company for real, or did I just get lucky twice? Can they keep this up?
This is where you have to prove it's not a fluke.
Exactly. This is where you need to roll out the red carpet. You need to differentiate their experience from a sampler's.
This is VIP territory.
Totally. Give them priority scheduling. Give them exclusive access to a new service before you launch it to the public. Give them a direct line to a senior person. Show them. Don't just tell them. that loyalty has privileges.
You're tipping them from indifferent. Yeah, they're okay. To loyalty, I love these guys. They're my go-to.
It's that tipping point. And once they tip, they graduate. They become stage 3, the loyalist.
The profit powerhouse.
That's what the source calls them. And the math is insane. Often, the 20% of customers who are in this stage drive 80% of the total profit for the entire business.
That 80-20 rule is just everywhere, isn't it?
It is inescapable, and you see it so clearly here. Loyalists don't shop around on price. They don't haggle. They forgive you if you make a mistake because they trust the relationship.
They give you the benefit of the doubt.
And this is the big one. They refer people without you even asking. They become your volunteer sales force.
But the mistake businesses make is treating the loyalist the same as the sampler. They're still on the same generic email list.
Yes. Sending the same generic July newsletter to a client who has spent $50,000 with you that you send to a guy who bought one consultation 3 years ago. That is an insult. It's a massive wasted opportunity.
The harvester segments. They treat loyalists like partners, not just customers.
They're a different class of citizen in your business, and they should be treated that way.
This leads us to what I think is the most provocative part of the source material. It honestly challenged my own thinking. We use the word care a lot in business. We care about our customers.
It's on every website's About Us page.
Right. And usually that means being nice,
Yeah.
smiling, saying yes. The customer is always right.
It means accommodation. We think caring equals making the customer comfortable in the moment, avoiding any and all friction.
But the source material just throws a wrench in that. It says real caring means challenging, not accommodating.
This is the paradox, and it is where the identity shift we talked about earlier really shows up in the real world. Real caring, the kind that builds loyalty, requires friction. It requires tension.
Walk us through the example from the text, the maintenance agreement, because this is a scenario every service provider faces in some form or another.
Absolutely. So picture an HVAC company or maybe an IT support firm. You've just finished a big project, and now you're offering the ongoing maintenance plan. And the customer says, you know what, I don't want to pay for the monthly plan. It's too expensive right now. I'll just call you when something breaks.
A very common objection.
Yeah.
So the hunter, who is afraid of losing the client, who smells desperation and who just wants to be nice, says what?
The hunter immediately accommodates. They say, okay, sure thing, no problem. We're here when you need us. They avoid the conflict. They think they're being good service providers by agreeing with the customer.
But they aren't. They're actually doing a disservice.
A huge disservice. No, they are being indifferent. Because what happens 6 months later, the system breaks in the middle of a heat wave, or their main server crashes on the busiest day of the year.
The worst possible time.
Always. And now it costs 3 times as much to fix it on an emergency basis. The customer is stressed out, they're angry, their business is down, and they are way out of pocket. By being nice earlier, the hunter actually allowed the customer to walk straight into a predictable disaster.
So how does the harvester handle that initial pushback? How do they challenge without being a jerk, without being aggressive?
It's all about the framing. The harvester says, I understand you want to save money. That makes perfect sense. But that is exactly why you need this agreement.
Ooh, I like that.
That's exactly why.
It reframes the objection. They continue. Because I know this equipment. I know your system. If you don't maintain it, it will fail. And it will likely happen during your busy season, and it will cost you a fortune in downtime and emergency repairs. I cannot, in good conscience, let you make that mistake. For the long-term health of your business, we need to do this.
Wow. That is a completely different energy. There's tension there. You are actively pushing back on the customer.
There is tension. It's risky in the short term. But why are they doing it? Are they doing it to make a quick buck? No, they're doing it to protect the customer from themselves, to get them the better long-term outcome.
Exactly. The source uses the father metaphor here, and it really landed for me. If your father or your mother or anyone you love was making a decision that you, with your expertise, knew would hurt them in the long run, would you accommodate them?
Of course not.
Would you say, sure, Dad, go ahead, drive on those bald tires in the rain? Your comfort in this moment is all that matters.
No way. You'd step in.
Yeah.
You'd argue with him. You'd take the keys if you had to.
You would challenge him because you care, not in spite of it. And that's the point. Accommodation is actually a form of indifference. It's a quiet way of saying, I don't care enough about your future to have an uncomfortable conversation with you right now.
That is heavy. Accommodation is indifference. That is going to stick with me for a while.
It should. And when you challenge a customer like that, respectfully but firmly, they might push back initially, they might get a little bristly, but deep down something clicks. They realize, wait a minute, this person isn't just trying to take my money, they're actually trying to get me the best result.
And that breeds deep respect.
Deep respect. And respect is the foundation of loyalty. You can't have loyalty without respect. It signals you are an advisor, not a vendor. Vendors take orders, advisors give guidance.
And advisors get paid more, and they keep their clients for life.
That's the difference.
So we have the mindset, we have the challenge. Now let's talk about execution. Let's make this operational. The source material outlines the 3Rs framework. This is the machinery of the business. This is what you do on a Tuesday morning to make all this happen.
Right. This takes it from theory to practice. The 3Rs. Retention, related sales, and referrals.
Let's start with R1, retention. We have some math here again that blew my mind when I first read it.
You should write this on a Post-it note and stick it to your monitor. Every business owner needs to see this every day. A 2% increase in customer retention has the same financial impact on your bottom line as cutting operational costs by 10%.
Wait, run that by me again. Just a tiny 2% improvement in retention?
Just 2%. Keeping 2 more customers out of every 100 that you would have lost. Think about how agonizingly hard it is to cut your costs by 10%.
Oh, it's brutal. You're firing people, you're switching to cheaper coffee in the break room, you're renegotiating rent, you are canceling software subscriptions that your team needs.
Everyone is stressed out. It is a painful, miserable process. It creates a culture of scarcity.
A horrible grind.
But keeping 2% more customers, that's just better service. That's a few more proactive phone calls. That's a better onboarding email. That is the absolute definition of working smarter, not harder.
So R1 is retention. Plug the hole in the bucket. Stop the churn. That leads to R2, which is related sales. Now, be honest. Is this just a fancy word for upselling? Do you want fries with that?
A lot of people think that, and they get uncomfortable. They hear related sales, and they think of trying to squeeze the customer for every last dime.
Right.
But a harvester views related sales as anticipating the next problem.
The next problem. Explain that.
If I solve problem A for you, my job as an expert is to know that naturally, problem B is going to show up down the road. It is an inevitable consequence of you growing or your situation changing.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say you're a landscaper. You install a beautiful new lawn for a client. That's problem A solved. The yard looks great. What is the very next problem that client has immediately?
Oh, keeping it alive. Weeds, drought, bugs, pests.
Exactly. Nature immediately starts attacking their beautiful new lawn. So offering a fertilization package or an irrigation system checkup isn't pushy selling. It is anticipating their need before the customer even realizes they have it.
You're guiding them through the natural journey of ownership.
Yes. If you don't offer it, they are going to have a dead, patchy lawn in 3 months, and they'll probably blame you for it. You are the guide. You are looking around the corner for them. You are selling them the solution to the problem they are about to have.
And that builds even more trust because you're demonstrating expertise. Okay, and that brings us to R3, referrals.
The unpaid sales force. We talked about loyalists earlier. They want to refer you. It's human nature. They want to look smart to their friends and colleagues by recommending the best expert.
But most businesses make it hard. Or worse, they just hope it happens organically. You know, if I do a good job, the phone will ring.
Hope is not a strategy. A harvester systemizes referrals. They build it into their process. They ask for them at the moment of peak happiness, right after a project successfully launches or a major problem is solved.
When the client is feeling the most gratitude,
That's the moment. And they make introductions easy. They'll literally write the introductory email for the client to forward. They don't treat referrals as a lucky bonus. They treat them as a core, predictable revenue stream.
and the key here, which the source emphasizes, is that loyalists recommend you because they believe in the solution, not because you gave them a $50 Starbucks card.
The incentives are fine. They're a nice thank you. But true advocacy comes from trust. They are putting their personal reputation on the line to recommend you to someone in their network. That's a powerful, sacred thing. You have to honor that.
So we have built this entire picture. We see the trap of the hunter. We see the structure of the harvester. We have the metrics, the systems, the psychology, the 3 Rs. And now we come to the crossroads.
This is the conclusion of the source material, and it's a very stark choice. It's not about trying a few new tactics. It's about deciding who you want to be. It's about identity.
Option A, stay a hunter.
Option A is the default. It requires no change. You just keep doing what you're doing. But you have to be honest and look at the trajectory. Acquisition costs are rising. The world is getting noisier. Competition is rising. You are working harder every single year just to make the same amount of money.
And there is no compound effect. There's no momentum. You stop pedaling, the bike falls over.
The business owns you. You have a job, not a business. And you are an employee of a cruel, relentless boss yourself.
Okay, that's bleak. So option B, become a harvester.
This is the intentional path. It requires change, it requires work up front. But the reward is predictable revenue. Past customers become future revenue. You get the compound effect of relationships where year 3 is easier than year 1 and year 5 is easier than year 3.
You start to get your life back. You're building an asset, not just a job.
An asset that works for you.
The source material asks business owners to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10 regarding their commitment to making this shift.
Yes. 1 being, it would be nice to change someday, and 10 being, I cannot go another month living like this. Something has to change now.
And it has a specific warning for the 8s and 9s on that scale.
The dangerous middle. The 8s and 9s are uncomfortable, but they aren't in enough pain to actually change it. So they keep hunting, they keep grinding, they say, I'll get to it next quarter. They wait until the pain gets worse.
Until they become a 10.
Right. The source says only the 10s make the shift. The ones who finally decide, I am done with the hamster wheel, I am burning the boats, I am fixing the bucket, starting today.
It's a commitment to a different future, not just a different tactic.
It's a total commitment.
So let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground here. What are the big takeaways for you? If the listener remembers nothing else from this deep dive, what should stick with them?
For me, it boils down to 3 really critical things. First, the mental shift from acquisition to frequency. Stop obsessing over new names and start obsessing over how many times your current clients buy from you.
Simple, but powerful.
Second, the CLV to CAC ratio, the golden ratio. If you don't know that number, you're flying blind. Go calculate it today. It is the true heartbeat of your business.
And a third.
Caring equals challenging. Stop accommodating your way to mediocrity. Be the expert who cares enough to tell the client the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. That's where real trust is built.
I love that. One final thought from the author to leave the listeners with.
Yeah, the final challenge in the source material is this. The business you build in the next 12 months will either trap you deeper in the hamster wheel or it will set you free.
That is the question. So I want you to go back to that visualization we started with. Imagine it's the 1st of next month. You open your calendar. Are you staring at a 0? Or are you staring at a harvest? And maybe most importantly, are you a 10 ready to fix it?
The choice is yours.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you then.